Hey friends, welcome to another edition of the Find Your Craft Show. I've got a great beer for you guys this evening. A couple of weeks ago we took a look at Green Man Brewery's Green IPA, and I got another beer from those guys tonight. This is Green Man's Tart Berry Berliner Weisse. So very different beer here than an IPA. Very different beer from an IPA. This is one of their famous brews as well. This one comes in at 4.2%. The Tart Berry Berliner Weisse. The Berliner Weisse style actually goes back to around the 16th century, I believe Hamburg, Germany. The Berliner Weisse is a very unique style of beer, kind of known to be sour due to lactic acid in the beer, usually fermented via yeast and lactobacillus to give it that tart type flavor. So I believe this is the first sour beer that I've reviewed on the Find Your Craft Show. So really looking forward to this one. This one should be great. And as you can see, this is a very different beer from anything we've seen thus far in my brewery reviewing escapades. So here we go, guys. Look at this. Beautiful. It just looks tart. A ruby color here. Very ruby color. Kind of a pink whitish head on top of that. Centimeter and a half. I can hear it still bubbling, so pretty decent amount of carbonation on that. It's opaque. I'd say translucent. You can see a little bit of stuff through, a little bit of light through that, especially if you hold it up to the light there, but not a whole lot. Again, the head on that beer is just a kind of a pinkish white. I'm thinking this hue comes from some of the berries used in the brew. I'm not sure of the brew process on this particular Berliner Weisse, but they've used some berries in it. Maybe some strawberries, maybe some raspberries, some type of reddish berry to give it that hue. So let's see what we've got on the nose. I'm not getting a whole lot on the nose. Definitely getting some fruity type aromas. I would even say some tart type aromas. I know this tart is usually a flavor or a sensation on the palate, but olfactory sensories are very much related to your taste. The nose and the mouth, it's all very much related. So occasionally when you smell something, you're like, hey, that's going to be tart. And that's not the beer playing tricks on me. It's something that, I can smell it and it's like, oh, that might be a little tart. So definitely some fruity aromas and maybe some tartness in there. Not a whole lot on the nose as far as that goes. Just almost like a juice that I've got a couple of kids. This is a good story. Got a couple of kids, and occasionally they'll leave juice out, or they'll lose a cup with juice in it, and you go to smell that stuff later, and it started to ferment, and it smells a little tart, a little sour. That's what I'm smelling here. That's the best thing that I can relate it to. So cheers to Aniston and Jace on giving me a little thing to compare this to. the old juice, so to speak. So let's see what we've got. Cheers. I took too big of a sip. Wow, that is tart. Very solid beer. As far as sours go, it's very good. Oh man, really good. I took too big of a sip. You take a big sip of a drink with a lot of that lactic acid, you taste it, and it sits on your teeth. It really kicks you in the teeth in a way. Not a whole lot as far as the malt goes here. I think base malt is not meant to be the highlight of the beer. Not getting a ton of stuff, not getting a ton of flavor as far as hoppiness goes. Not getting a ton of bitterness that I would expect from hops. The main thing on display is tart juice, tart berries, and that sourness just coming from the lactobacillus used and the lactic acid that's formed during this fermentation process. Maybe raspberry, maybe a little bit of strawberry, maybe blackberry. I'm kind of leaning more towards raspberry and blackberry in this. A very pleasant sour taste. I'm just trying to really process what I'm tasting here. Again, one of the first sour beers we've done. As far as Berliner Weisses go, it's pretty solid. I would kind of say it's straight up sour beer. I guess you can still call it a Berliner Weiss, depending on what your nomenclature is and what you're calling certain beers. This is pretty much straight up sour beer. It's pretty easy drinking. 4.2%. You're coming in on the low side as far as the ABV goes. Solid sour beer. If you like sour beers, give this one a try. It's very good. The addition of the berries adds a nice fruity tartness to the beer, and I think that's great because I think the sourness of the beer, the sour type flavor that comes from the lactic acid, pairs really well with those berries. Just goes really, really well together, like sour juice in a way. But yeah, solid sour beer here. I'm trying to see. Pucker up, dreamers. This fruity and likable delight can be enjoyed anywhere your tongue goes. Pucker up, dreamers. Nice. This was pretty solid. Well done to Green Man on this one. I think I actually like the Berliner Weisse better than the IPA, just straight up. I'm kind of venturing out into the world of sours. The subset is really growing on me. I've had some amazing sour beers over the last year, and breweries are really getting creative with them. They're doing a phenomenal job. So cheers to Green Man on this one. Great berry flavor, great tartness, great spring or summer beer. If you're a wine drinker that doesn't usually like beer, hey, give this one a try. You know, you're gonna get some comparisons in there as far as some of the flavors go with the addition of the berries and whatnot. But yeah, pretty solid beer here. Cheers to Green Man on this one. Thank you guys so much for following along. If you like what you saw, if you love great beer, click that subscribe button in the bottom corner there that I'm pointing to. I forget if it's right, left. Thank you guys so much again for following along. You guys have a great night, and cheers.